very serious case. There's a lot of heavy testimony. We'll try and present it clearly for you. And at the end of the case, I am going to ask you to return a guilty verdict. 3 counts of first-degree intentional homicide for Mr. Tao, and 1 count of possessing a firearm as a prohibited person. What that means is that he is prohibited from possessing a firearm in Wisconsin, and he did possess a firearm during this offense. The time frame that we're talking about is a very short time frame. The events that we're talking about happened over the course of a couple of hours. There's some information that goes back a few days or weeks, but it's not a big time frame. But to start with, from the police perspective, on July 23rd, 2021, it's almost 2 years ago, at 4:57 a.m., Deputy Betthauser of the La Crosse County Sheriff's Office was dispatched to a quarry that's located at the intersection of Highway S and M, north of West Salem. The roads are in yellow on this map, so a little hard to see, but Highway M goes straight up from West Salem, and this is Highway S, it cuts through the hills, and there's a Ramstock, or Ramskog quarry, I'm just gonna call it the quarry, that's located there. She was dispatched there, and when she arrived, she saw this scene. There were 2 vehicles that belonged to employees of the quarry. They called this in and arrived there early in the morning, and there were 3 bodies that were lying near the gate of the quarry, which is locked overnight. And so she took that photo at the scene. Those 3 persons that were lying at the gate were deceased. They were eventually identified as Nemo Yang, who was 24 years old, Peng Lower, who was 24 years old, and Trevor Maloney, who was 23 years old. That scene is in a rather remote place in La Crosse County. It's very hilly, mostly trees, a few houses along that route, but there's not a lot there other than that quarry. So there's no surveillance video at the scene, there's no eyewitnesses, there's not much for the police to know about other than there are 3 bodies found. So as the police begin searching to try to find out what may have happened here, they get a lucky break. About noon on that same day, July 23rd, so about 8 hours later, a woman named Bridget Schlicht walks into the La Crosse Police Department and says she knows something about what happened to those 3 people that are out in the quarry. She says she was there and she saw it happen. When she walked in, she was upset, she was crying, she was nervous, and the city police department recognized this was a case belonging to the county, and so they contacted county investigators, and investigator Rich Anderson and a man named John Myers from the State Department of Justice interviewed her for a period of hours. She will tell you when she testifies that she was nervous when she went to the police. She had been using meth in July of that year. She had been around a lot of people that were using meth. She had carried some meth herself. She didn't particularly trust the police. She had not had good run-ins with them at traffic stops in the past. And so she wasn't quite sure what she could say or what she should say or how to say it without revealing too much about herself or her own activities. But she did decide she had to go in and tell the police what happened. Ms. Schlicht is a person from Gruenke. She grew up there, still lives in Vernon County. She is divorced, she has a daughter. In the summer of July 2021, she was going through a rough patch and she was using meth, and she came to La Crosse to do that. She will tell you that she's one of those people that when she uses meth, it's not really that big of a high for her. She uses it to socialize, to be with other people, but it didn't have as much of an impact on her as it does some other people. And when she stopped using it, she'll tell you that she was actually easy for her to give it up. So she's one of the lucky ones.